capsule will be leaving the station momentarily.
Welcome to 2951 Intergalactic Aerospace Expo. We're celebrating those who dare to fly.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today I will be walking around the expo and explaining a few ships in particular. One, the Spartan, and the other ship you will see later. I've been in the first 10 days now, and I haven't died or lost a ship. I haven't been really doing cargo runnings because I'm a fugitive and the cargo isn't quite there yet. Bed logging's working. Excellent.
Welcome to the 2951 Intergalactic Aerospace
I am
Expo.
using Tobii eye tracking,
We're celebrating those who dare to fly.
version 4. I'm also wearing my concierge hat, which I don't usually wear, just to show that I'm a concierge, plus a few other things.
Thank you for visiting New Baptist Token Expo Center. Stands for Permanent
And actually I don't even know where I am.
Exhibitions.
That's because I've had to just reload, you see. Tobii eye tracking is a very good software. It can be very finicky, but it's excellent when it comes to real immersion. But I will be moving as soon as possible from the Tobii eye tracking, that long bar, to the VR as possible, but it has to have Tobii eye because I do rate that very strongly to be a very good product, reliable and all the above. But at the moment I don't know where I am.
Now approaching station. Stand clear of disembarking passengers.
Tobii eye tracking at the moment is all done for combat in ships and stuff like that, and not for walking around. So I've had to do bits of my own script so I can have a bit more of immersion in the game.
We're celebrating those perfect way to get more info about why adventurous pilots across the universe. Many of the vehicles on display at this year's IAE are available to
For those of you who are having trouble logging into the verse, I would say use a different server. It took me 2 hours to get into the verse today, and then had a brainwave. I went into the Australian server. What have they got here?
We're celebrating those who dare to fly. To learn more about the manufacturers of ships on display, the all-new 2951 IAE immersive audio experience is the perfect way to get more info about why adventurous pilots across the universe fly.
I personally like blue, but because I'm spending most of my time advertising the 890 jump to show the capabilities of what that ship can do as it stands now, most of the stuff will be white.
Whether it's stepping into an unknown system or revisiting the well-traveled routes of the home sector, how you get there is half the fun. Find your next craft of choice with the 2951 IAE. Dare you go.
As we all know, in the new patch, CIG has brought a lot of new features, and there's a heck of a lot to unlock, making the roleplay very exciting.
Live events and exhibitions.
Salvage, not quite salvage, but looting, medical play. I've had to join the whole lot together to make it one big package. I will be looking at the Ares and the Redeemer. I really like the Redeemer, but only if it can fit on top of the 890 jump hangar deck. And I'm also looking at the Ares, same thing, but with the Ares it's not as tall, so it should be protected by the shield bubble of the 890 jump. Remember, I'm not combat, I'm civilian. I don't want to go on any lists just yet. I want to see what's going on. We've been there. My spatial mapping and social awareness isn't really up to standards at the moment, so you see I'm walking around a few things, going around in circle.
Whether it's stepping into an unknown system or revisiting the well-traveled routes.
If anybody's got any idea how I can get into the 890 jump club or something like that, I'd like to know. I've been trying for about a year with no response. That's because I've got an 890 jump, you see. The first time I came into an Origin ship was the 600i. Loved the ship to bits. But all my colleagues wanted the 890 jump. So I bought the 890 jump. But so stupidly, because I always spend a lot of hours in the game, I went and melted my 600i. People say buy it back. I have always said if I bought the ship once and I've melted it, I wouldn't buy it back. It would only be in game, sadly. So I've got to use other ways of making credits. Which I've successfully done with the experience of being in the game or in the verse for the last 4 years or so. with a good few supporters of our organisation. It hasn't been easy, but we've stuck at it. Being a fugitive, all my roleplay has been in space. Logging in and logging out could I find a lot easier and a lot quicker when playing the game. Where normally when you're in planet side, it does take a little time to load in, get things organised and whatnot. But most of our players using the roleplay with me, they'll log off in the ship, they might not come back for 2 or 3 days, and boom, they're ready to go. But today, I actually logged in planet side because we actually came here to do a bit of survey on what was being offered. But being in the game over 10 hours, it was a little bit exhausting. As you see, we have the Carrot, a very nice ship. I actually used this ship for the first day when I came in, and I lost over 100,000. Not through any silly fault of mine, just a couple of glitches which I wasn't aware of. So I put cargo back on the burner. And that automatically put me straight in to the 890 jump, which I was campaigning in the patch before, but I'm going to strongly push that ship and its capabilities and some of the features that can be unlocked in the game as we see now. The Inferno, I want to try and use that on the 890 jump on the top hangar deck, but obviously if that's going to be part of my ship's utilities, as you can see, there's no way that ship can actually dock in a hangar bay because it will disappear. So everything will have to be done outside, which you will see in episodes of me when I'm streaming and showing what it can do. The Hurricane, very nice ship. Let's see what's going on here.
Learn more about the manufacturers and ships on display. The all-new 2951 aUEC.
Power plants and stuff like that you already know.
More info about why adventurous pilots across the universe do it as well.
But there is one ship I ain't gonna miss in here, and that's the F8 Lightning. It's always been my favourite ship. Some may say you're not combat Pepper, so why do you like that ship? I don't know. I spent a lot of cash just to get that ship as a freebie in game. And I've got both of them now.
Discover the craft of your dreams at this year's IAE? Then why not experience it firsthand with a test flight?
What's going to be my go-to ship in the verse? It's really not out yet, but luckily I've got the Javelin, so that will keep me there going until things there go and get better. I do like the Endeavour, but that's a long way off. I also like the Mercury per solo pilot. And I also like the Aurora. Not a bad little ship when you get to understand it. It's built like a little tank. At the moment I am actually looking, so I can't get over this lag at the moment. Arrow, I've got 2 of them. I actually bought them 2 years ago, but I'm so supposed to buy 1. I ended up buying 4, and I'm not combat. Those are LTI specialists. But I've got enough ships now to keep the game going. When I first came in the game, I only ever wanted 10 ships, and they were all supposed to be capital ships, because I believe the capital ships give me the loaners, and also if I want small ships, the capital ships will also help me to buy those in game. Right, this looks like it's the Liberator. Now this ship, believe it or not, I think it's very reasonably priced. Okay, I think it's about 80 English pounds, about half the price of the Ballista. What do I find so fascinating about this ship? This ship looks to me like a Russian doll. Okay, I'm not too interested in all the weapons, because obviously all it's got is 2 size 2 guns. Can't do much. But if I'm able to take those guns off this vehicle, it will cut down the EM. Strip this ship to its bare bones, shields and all. Remember, we're talking about EMP. If you're not seen, you're not heard. Okay? Put civilian components on it until stealth comes in. EMP comes down. Now, this ship, to how I understand, has got decent storage space inside. Hand combat tools like missile launchers, rail guns will be sufficient. You'll see it before they see you. And don't forget, if they get too close, you can disembark from the ship and hide. Now also, I'm actually using a new term called a Russian doll. Okay? Now, I'm hoping that I can put the Nox in here when it is finished. When the Gradlibs are working. Also the Ranger and one of the small Origin bikes. But to do that, I'll have to purchase a ship. I've got spare credits, but I just want to have a look at it first, because the height is the most important thing. Well, the first thing I've noticed, the height's there, so the bike can be pushed in. But I wish they did it a bit like the Rover. Also, this ship has got no defense. If this ship had EMP and as a troop carrier, this ship would be excellent. Because EMP can be offensive apart from defensive, and I've always liked EMP. It's a pity they didn't put that on this, because I would actually spend real cash for this ship for defense purposes. But the whole idea is because I'm a civilian operator, okay? Defense is my main objective. I'm taking off the turrets at the top. Might give me a bit more versatility into what ships it can be going. So I'm actually going to test this ship out. But I'll have to put it alongside the Ballista. But to take the weapons off, I do believe I've got that ship. I'll be comparing it with the proper ballista, which I do like the normal ballista, but land vehicles is something I don't really purchase. I have my reasons because according to how the ship schematics are, the ships are too dear. Now what I mean by that, no, it's not dear, it's not expensive, but when you buy a ship, you're getting 4 or 5 times the components and the value for your money. But as we all know, later on those ships will go up in price. These will stay at the same price, giving these a better value. That's my speculation. Now, I spawned at new baggage, so this should appear at new baggage. New baggage, sorry, my broken English. I've always liked the ballistas because of its strength. I believe its armor will protect it. Visibility for driving is not that good, but obviously if you're a truck driver, you're always aware of your surroundings. I've heard a couple of critics saying, nah, but I don't believe it. I just think it'll be okay. Now looking at the torrent of that gun, take that off, I believe it'll take a height about 1 meter off the height. So it might go into a few ships it's not supposed to go in. Remember, I'll be using it as a transporter for storing things when I'm going on salvage looting because of its storage capabilities. Oh, the doors actually look a little bit wider. This might add a few more extra capabilities. The back to rider ramp. If we can get the Origin bike in there and the Nox, I don't think it will get the Dragonfly in. It would have been nice if those seats could have folded up like the Rover, giving you extra clearance. What's this? I am having trouble with lag at the moment on this server. So I'm going to take the eye tracking off for now. I am really pleased about the height. I did have my doubts watching other YouTubers, it might not be high enough, but yes, just over 2 meters in height is sufficient. The only problem I've got, I do believe them seats should have been more backwards, so you can actually store more stuff in here, like a Russian dolls, etc. Obviously CIG, when they bring these things out, they have a main purpose, but for a civilian operator we have to adapt it to our purposes. Right. Okay, that's interesting. Well, what I'm trying to do is open the doors. I do like the ballista for its missiles, but I would prefer this. For its stealth capabilities, because I don't need weapons. Because basically, if you're inside of another ship vehicle, that ship can do its radar and let you know if anything's coming around, because the more stuff you have on the ship, the easier it's to be seen through the IR. But my problem now is getting up this bucket. See, just looking at the width. They could have got a lot more if they could have made it a little bit wider. It's not making the hole wider, it's just the doors. Because for a land vehicle, you do need a bit more versatility. And that's why I say somehow, if they could have got an EMP on here, it would be whatever they charge. Yes, put it this way, it would have been worth it. I know they had to knock it down because they put nothing on it, and CIG charges for its components. But if this had an EMP, and depending on what type of EMP, would it have been worth more than the missiles? I would have said yes. Why? Because missiles you have to keep buying, EMP you don't. The question is, would the power plant be able to adequate supply it?
Ready to learn more about the manufacturers and ships on display?
Based on the vehicles, I would have said yes. Because I do believe, if I remember correctly, this has 2 power plants.
Attention visitors to Intergalactic Aerospace Expo. Please remember to stay hydrated while exploring the exhibits on display. For your convenience, a selection of beverages and tasty snacks are available for purchase in the lobby.
The Liberator. I'll be looking at that very shortly. Wait a minute. It will be a hologram. Okay. And as you can see, the missiles on this is actually higher than the guns. Okay, so you take the missiles off, you've got a low footprint. Take the guns off, you've got even a lower footprint. So it might, and the word is might, go into the Carrack. But to be able to do that, I would actually have to buy the ship. Sorry, buy the vehicle, because As a loan, buying it in the game, you're not allowed to take components off. Now, I've got a lot of credits in the game that I'm not using. I am actually thinking, how am I going to get this ship without paying for it? I've got the rock. I would actually upgrade the rock to this and buy the rock in game. That would offset the price to practically nothing. That's what I'm going to do with this. Okay? And I'll keep it for about 3 months. But obviously if it can't fit in the carrier, things like that, it will be of no use. But I'm in the 890 jump, so there will be some uses. But remember, the 890 jump can't really do certain things on planet side because it's so difficult to land. But it can be done. I think I'll purchase this one too. I've always made sure I buy this in my fleet in game. Even if I don't use it. The reason being is because I would use this on my 890 jump on the top hangar deck when I'm going to do difficult missions, like blow things up on an alpha strike. With the 2 size 5 missiles, I do believe it's 200 hit points. That's enough to knock out the shields on a hammerhead. I didn't say it could kill the hammerhead, I said knock out the shields. And after you knocked out the shields, then you've got to concentrate on the hull. And that's where ballistics come in, if you've got enough of them. The whole objective is when you're taking out shields, you have to keep the shields down or offline. CIG is actually going to be working on that in the next patch, which I'm actually delighted. So where certain weapons, distortion cannons, when the power plant is knocked out, they come offline, which will be a nice added feature. Well, they did used to have it before, but somehow it sneakily got taken out. Anyway. Now we're going to have a look at the Liberator.
Attention visitors, Intergalactic Aerospace Expo. Please remember to stay hydrated while exploring the exhibit's hall.
First impressions of the Liberator.
A selection of beverages and tasty snacks are available for purchase.
I'm just thinking how I'm going to word this. I have the Kraken. So for when I've got the Kraken, this ship's not needed. Obviously, you know the reasons why without going to too many things. Okay, but if you haven't got the Kraken, this is a very good ship. Now I want this ship. Why? I have the A2. £50 less than this. I'm not combat, so obviously the A2 is no use to me. Okay, but with this ship, it can do what the A2 can do for £50 more. It can store ships, which is built to do that, and vehicles, and a decent cargo space, and its flexibility. Okay, it's got no guns, but the ships you put on it, to what I've seen already, is very surprising, because I do a lot of what fits sits, and this looks like it can hold a lot more than what is speculated. But as I said earlier, I've got the A2. That ship was purchased by mistake, but no, it was intentional when I got the A2. What I mean by that, I bought the A2 to put the ballista in the A2 to put the ballista on the Constellation, the 890 jump. It has served its purpose. This can do the same thing. Now because the ship's not out, it will give you the C2 until this comes out. Now I've got the A2. I would actually upgrade my A2 to this for an extra $25, $50, whatever. That's what I would do. But the main point and factor I'm trying to make, the A2 is actually out, so the price increase will not be that much. This ship is new, okay, and it's at a basic price, and it's also in concept. Get this ship now, it will increase in price, giving you a better value for your money. But me, I bought enough ships, I've got the credits already, I don't need to melt anything. I can use my A2, upgrade to this, and this will still give me the C2 for better cargo facilities. Okay, that's what I would do with this. Do I need this ship? No, I don't. Will this ship come out before the Kraken? Speculation, yes, sadly. But at the end of the day, if you are thinking, there are two ways to upgrade. This will go up in price if you are about number crunching, with money or with credits. Anywhere you take it, and you've got an A2 and you've got some 3-star credits, if I understand it correctly, if CIG hasn't changed the way they do things, because CIG's got a habit of changing things and not putting anything on paper until somebody goes and puts a purchase on this and makes a mistake, and then they actually correct their paperwork basically, so there's no more inconvenience. So as I say, if you've got the A2 and you're not into combat and you've got some spare credits, upgrade to this for an extra 25. This will go in price, up in price, okay, and also add a lot more features to the game, looking at it from a civilian point of view. Okay, now the problem is I don't trust the Australian server, because I've got a very serious roleplay on at the moment. Oh no, it's okay, I want to take the blisters out because I want to actually look at it. And then I'm going to speculate if I'm going to purchase it, but I've got a funny feeling I will do, but I have to do it within the expo. No, the blister's okay actually, because I won't be keeping that. When that comes out, I'll be getting that in game, because land reconnaissance is not much that I do actually at the moment, but that ballista is very, very important. What's it called? The Spartan, to my type of roleplay. Not to everybody else's, but to my type of roleplay. Now, CIG is actually moving forward in the game, and a lot of things are coming online, especially when it comes to persistent. And whatever visions you had in the game, it's changing. And the most important thing is micro control. Alright? Very, very difficult, because a lot of people are actually looking at the game now who's not combat, like me for instance, who is an explorer, and because now all my stuff is now stored on my ship, I take a totally different view. Now I've noticed with a few more of the operators in our org, they're starting to realize, because they're now starting to store stuff on my ship. So obviously they want somebody who's capable of piloting that ship so they don't lose the stuff, etc. But I think that's enough for here.
This is a friendly reminder. The Tobin Expo Center is shared space. Please be mindful
I was
of the
supposed
guest
to do this
limits so that we
yesterday
can all
with
enjoy
Little
this day
Miss
together.
and Commander Yoza. But after doing a 10-hour stream, I was very, very tired and hungry. It took me an hour just to go down about 10 miles to go get something to eat. And after that, I tried to get into here, and it was too tired, so I just logged off. Little Miss hasn't even woken up yet. UK time, it's 1 o'clock. That's how exhausted she is. So I'm actually doing it all on my own today. I might pop back in here today, later on when the day 2 comes on, but I doubt it. Because I'm sure them guys are going to want us to do it together. Basically, for the last 2-3 years, we've always done the expo together, come what may. So for me to be doing it by myself, it's a little bit selfish. That's the way I see it. Oh, what's it? All this here? Ah, the F8 Lightning. Okay. No, sorry. The Valkyrie. Now when I stripped the ballista, I still couldn't get it in this ship. Remember, the ballista's got missiles. It's not just the turret, it was also the missiles. Ah, yes, I remember. The back ramp wasn't working properly. That was why. But I wouldn't actually purchase this for my personal use because I'm not combat. Well, if that's the Liberator, I'm going to have to turn down the sensitivity on these, what they call it. It might be because I'm on another server. And secondly, that's better. Oh, it's a terrapin. Silly me. I'm actually looking at this terrapin. When I first saw this, I thought it was mainly all combat, but it's not, you know. It's not. Is it a terrapin? Yeah, the terrapin. I might add this to my fleet of ship for its scanning capabilities. The F8 Lightning. Not being a combat, this will be the mascot to my organization, and I got both of them. But the problem is, there's 2 types. And in previous sketches, I do believe it's got a co-pilot sitting behind, but which one? But there's no evidence of that, but I've seen little snippets. This is what I mean. You see that back quarter panel there? I think it's almost big enough to put a pilot in it. But there's no evidence of that. So if that was the case, would it be on the pilot and the civilian, or would it be on the combat? Reason being, I say it would be important because you see, the second pilot would have that top gun there on a 360-degree rotation. CIG can't go on a miss on that. Can I actually get in this ship? Oh, you can. Oh, okay.
Enfield Aerospace. All systems online.
I heard someone say you can't get in this ship. Well, you can. So let's take a look around. See, why would they have a glass panel there if another person isn't going to go in there? That's the first question. Secondly, which I didn't notice before, that gun cannot point forward properly. As you can see, it's a slight angle up. So you can't have all the weapons bearing forward, which I didn't notice that either before. So obviously, it would have to be rotational for the second pilot for the 360 rotation. This is my speculation, by the way. My speculation. How long's it going for theory crafting? But we're not going to know until the end of next year or the year after that. I do hope they make this like the Super Hornet, because seriously, 2 pilots governing this ship, it will be like the Hurricane. Deadly. I just don't agree. Well, I can't say too much about the missile because I know CIG will change that. Okay, they're not going to have 2 little farty ass missiles on there, not for something like this. They wouldn't. So at the end of the day, you see, look very closely at the guns. It can't, oh, it can just about see forward, but it can't. But what do I know? That's going to be remote to shoot backwards, and it's stated that when most of CIG's guns, when it comes to doing the pilot, everything points forward or within that arc. So for that to have full functionality, it would need a second pilot. CIG, you're hiding something. I know you are. Sniggle, sniggle, sniggle. Well, I'm going to put that to in my little diary now. And by the way, I had a look at this ship a couple of days back. And I know a couple of people's had this inside the 890 jump. But I still can't see it. It's just a couple of inches too wide. But I was wrong about the Star Pharaoh, wasn't I? You could get that in there with a shoehorn, and yes, I've done it myself. This is a very nice ship. But that is a glass panel. There has to be a seat there. It doesn't make sense. Let's see if I can't get into it, can I? I'll get in there. No, it won't. Nope. Still nope. As you can see, when you look right back at it, it's guarded off. So obviously, like I said, that back there is an extra seat. I know it doesn't look it because it's remote, and it would be very good for the co-pilot. And looking at it very carefully, those guns cannot point forward properly. But it can when you look at it from this angle. It can.
This is a friendly reminder that the Totem Expo Center is a shared space. Please note, guests
Yes, it can.
so that we can all enjoy this day together.
Be right back. I'll be down about less than 1 minute. I'm just going to get some painkillers. Got toothache. Just 1 second. I'm just wondering, have I been talking with my mic up or down for the last half hour? That's the question. Just 1 more minute, nature calls. Well, that took longer than a minute. Obviously, that was a long nature call. No, I was actually rolling a cigarette, actually. Now, if you'd like to join our Discord channel, the links are below. Okay? Feel free. We're mainly a civilian, but we do a little bit of combat. We're more about quality, not quantity. And I'm actually having trouble controlling the mouse at the moment. See, these battery operated mouse, that's not the reason, so it must be something else. Okay. Let's find something else. I think that's about it for today. I've got to check our Discord channel. See who's there. I've had to use a different computer, you see. Oh, and Mark's is away. Didn't even know that. Okay. So if you are having trouble getting into the server, especially best or EU server, pick another server. It's congested. Took me 3 hours to work out this morning. That's why I was on so early. It's the reason why I don't use the Australian server, because to me it's a little bit laggy. Might be because of the way how far it has to travel, you see. You can see the lag because I'm actually moving. Yes, I can actually alter all this, but it will take me some time to tune it. But my PC is actually tuned for space, you see. I'd have to, anyway, it's not about Toby today. If you are going to go into, yeah, like I said, it's not about Toby. If you want to go into eye tracking, Toby's, I would strongly recommend, okay? But I'm coming out from Toby, and I'm going to be going to VR. Now a cheap set which is not cheap, that will do all of this, which I would recommend, which I've had a couple of knockbacks from other people because it's cheap, but for what it offers, it's not a bad price. And that's the HP Reverb Omnicept. But I am strongly looking at, which I'm going to recommend, is the Pimax 12K, and that comes out next year. That's because of the micro display. It's got a lot of features in that thing there. I've been in the market to buy a VR for the last 4 years, but it hasn't ticked the boxes. But I do believe that will tick the box. Yes, you got the Oculus Quest, blah blah blah, but CIG is supporting Toby. And with the Oculus, I don't know, but if you ain't got any programming skills, it could be a little bit more orientating, disturbing, stressful, whichever word you like to use. That's not knocking back Quest, obviously, because it is a very, very good cheap headset for a beginner. But not for people like us who are heavily into Star Citizens. But all we can do when it comes to VR, we have to push it as much as we can so the developers can put it into the game. People say it's not supported, but you can write your own support or get people to do bits that can help you. See, this is not supported, but it's my own script, so it works. But I will be using a VR on a totally separate PC, because obviously everything under one PC is a bit too much on the processor. Now anybody who's into networking will know all this and will be able to alter certain things so you can run the eye tracking on a separate PC and play your game on your main PC, plus a lot more other functionalities to go with it, if you understand how a PC works. But this is not about IT today, this is about the expo, and I'm now trying to get out of here.
How you get there is half the fun. Find your next craft of choice with the 2951 aUEC. Dare to fly.
CIG, please get the drones working on the Carrack. We need a bit more play. And also, another thing, please give us extra functionalities on the shields. I'm trying to show the players what we can do with them shields from a co-pilot's point of view on them size 3s. Size 1 and size 2 don't need it, because obviously it's only got one capacitor. But the bigger ships need it. It will give a lot more delight to piloting.
Are available for purchase in the lobby.
Now the next thing, I would like to take a look at this Spartan. If it's got what I suspect it's got, it will be classed as a Russian doll. Basically, what you can fit inside that, the enemy wouldn't even suspect. You will hear it, but you will not see it. And what comes out of it will be troops, civilian operators, all the components will be hidden inside. Weapons, all them kind of things. But I am actually looking at it from a salvage point of view when we go to do bunker missions, when we be doing looting. Oh, okay. Now I'm actually very low resolution at the moment, so that could be why the text is like this. This is not, I don't think this would be CI, well it is, but let's put it down to me, yeah. It's so a lot easier. Look, CIG's had a lot of flack over the years, they don't need any more. And anybody thinks the Squadron 42 is coming out next year, it's not. Okay? It's not. Analysing the roadmap and this way this moving around ships. Right, 21st. It's our best in show. So the MISC is on the 27th to 28th. I'll be interested in that. There's a shipping down really looking at. I can't see what that interplay, that's Drake, isn't it? Readability is not very good. Now let's try that. No, it's not. Oh, I'm pressing the wrong keyboard. So I'm working from two computers here, you see. One for our Discord channel and one for the game. Okay. I'm going to need some warm clothes. This lag is not very good for motion sickness with eye tracking. External view. External view. I was actually passing some reference to Pimax a couple of weeks back about the eye tracking and the mobiGlas. They actually says the clarity won't be able to do text, but with the micro displays what I've seen, I would say different. It's good enough for the game. At the moment I'm actually in 1080p from 4K. I can go into 4K, but it's not good for a processor. And you see the graphics cards I'm using are Zortex. Okay, now Zortex is set to its highest settings, so it has to be downclocked, where the Founders Edition you can overclock from a lower setting. Can anybody tell me the way out, please? I need to check if I've got any warm clothes. I've got some special gear for Mate 90 jump. I don't want to put it on actually. We're going to the Commons. You see, this lag doesn't really show the beauty of the eye tracking.
station momentarily.
External view. External view. And the reason why I'm speaking the commands because my hands are full doing other things, you see. Oh, before I go there, just let me check in my inventory. If I've got any warm clothes, I won't need to buy. Oh, by the way, you see all those surgical, what's the word you'd use? Nightgowns? No. Operating gowns, probably what they call it. I would suggest don't throw them away. Keep them. Because every time you have a little accident, you're running around the verse in your boxes. I've seen it. I did tell our members that a few weeks back that's going to happen when this goes live, and it's happening now. So if you see any of those, pick them up. They'll come in handy. And guess what? You can sell them to your colleagues. They will pay. YouTubers, streamers, they will pay loads for those nightgowns, so they're not in a very embarrassing situation. Look at Miss. She's got a shopping mall full of them. Right. What I'm looking for is something that to go outside in the cold. Swords.
Selfless acts defies. Ask what good can I do to make the verse better? The answer is one you already know. This is another
Yes.
clarity.
I can use that. So I could do the helmet. Okay, that's very good. I've got a couple of decent helmets, that's alright. So I don't need to go to the commons now. So it's straight to the spaceport. On second thoughts, wait a minute, I will go to the commons. I'll tell you the reasons why it's got a side entrance to keep it going. I actually use the side entrance because I've got the 890 jump, because I can't actually take my 890 jump to the hangar deck because of what I've got inside it. Basically, you're only allowed to have 2 ships. So if you spawn your ship or go there, you will actually lose the work you put in there. The reason why that's important to me, because I actually do what fits, and because usually when I'm doing these things alone and it takes a bit more time, that's the best way for me. I forgot where I was going now. Ah, yeah. I'll be coming back on myself very shortly. This is my main spawning point, but I've not used it for about 2-3 weeks since the beginning of the last patch. I'm really delighted that CIG has fixed bed spawning. Bed logging, sorry. Very, very delighted. It had nerfed about 60% of my roleplay. And by the way, the components like shields and weapons, they are really coming on nicely. I approve of what they're doing with the shields. I'll be showing shield management and all those things. Maximum performance I'll be calling. I'm just going to get myself some crime stat keys while I'm here. Not that I need them really, but it's part of my roleplay as Fugitive. Oh, okay. So CIG's taking them off. Now, because I am an explorer, okay, remember explorers are slightly logistics, but with explorers, they can only sell these things once. So they have to sell them at a high price. But the logistics will buy these stuff at 3 times the price or whatever. Okay? Because remember, as an explorer, we take the time. Logistics cannot take the time, go look and exploring. So if they can get these things quickly, they don't mind paying the prices. Because remember, going back to port and then kind of things also takes up time. You don't need to store all these on your ship, but just make sure you've got them at every port where you're stopping. I bought some of these off Little Miss a few days back. She came with 6, it cost me 18,000 credits. Extortionate! Yeah, but when you take it into account, if you didn't have it, think about all the time you'd have to take to come back to go pick these up. That's the reason why I paid for it. But if anybody came on my ship, you sell them back. If they work out the logic behind it. I'm also working on tractor beams, which I've not used for the last few patches. There's also something else I can't wait for CIG to actually bring into game. The holograms. Even if we can't use them, just so we can just change them. Oh, okay, where are they? It just seems such a waste just having them here as ornaments. Those. They got ship's components and all them kind of things. I don't see where it would hurt. But obviously, there's always a time and a place. But for an explorer like me in the game at the moment, these are very important. See, not everybody's combat, you see, but we're forced to do combat. You know what I mean? Just so we can get some pleasure. But sometimes killing people isn't very nice. If you noticed yesterday, I did a 10-hour stream. I was shot at. I was looked at. People had weaker ships. And all I had to do was just point my ship at them and blow them up. But I didn't. Why? Because later on in the game, these people's got very long memories. And I also would like to talk about subscriber players, which I do believe is very important to the game. But I've got my version of how I would like it to be implemented. But the problem at the moment, I just need to get out of here. I wish I could get into the EPU now. I mean the EU, because I can't take this lag. See, which I've noticed, since I'm using that 890 jump, I don't need to buy components or weapons, so that's cut the cost down of most of my stuff. I'm gonna get myself lost again. Basically, I'm looking for this surface entrance, because that's where I'm going to spawn the two oh wait a minute, there's a glitch. I can't spawn both of them here. Being because when you go past a certain threshold, you'll automatically die. I do all my testing in the PTU, and if it's not passed in the PTU, I don't bring it into the game, because survival is my most important aspect to see how long I can live in the game as it stands now. As you can see, I'm already lost. I'm actually looking for the surface entrance. I just put the ballista and Spartan on board the A2. It's a tight fit. Thank you, Commander Yoza. The A2 to the Liberator is a downscale. Okay. The A2 to the Liberator is a downscale. That means the A2 Deliberate is £200 less. Interesting. See, I've not checked it out properly. I can't do it on this PC because this PC I don't go into Spectrum. So how much is the Liberator then? I thought it was about £650. The A2 to the Liberator is a downscale. The A2 is about £200 more. Okay, Commander Yoza, if you can take the guns off the Spartan, try it in the Carrack. Basically, I'm looking at the height. Because everybody's saying that the guns are too high, that's actually causing the problem. If you remember last year, when we did that with the, what's that ship called again? That combat ship, it couldn't fit. That was because of the doors opening, so we couldn't do anything on that. Is he online? Oh, no, I'm the only one online at the moment. Right. Right, how am I going? No, I don't want to alter this. Basically, I've got to go into Spectrum and look at the prices, because I've just been told that the Liberator is actually cheaper than the A2. Now if it's cheaper than the A2, it can't be upgraded, and melting is something that is not a very good idea. So to what I've just said there, please do not act upon that, okay? Do not act upon that. Only unless the A2 is dearer than the Liberator. I have to really check up on that. But I can't do that now because I'm halfway through a streaming session. And I need to find the prices. The Liberator is a carrier. I think it's right now. And the Liberator is what, 400? And the A2's about, I think it's right. So where did I get them prices from then? Anyway, what I needed to try and do, I'm trying to get out of here at the moment. You know something? I think it's better if I just went straight to the normal spaceport. Because the side entrance, it will glitch. I think I'll use the commons. I didn't really want to take the train, to tell you the truth, but I don't think I've got much of a choice. transit. I've never done so much reading in my life. Well, I used to do a lot when I was younger, but when you're older, I don't need to. Why ain't... I'm not... I should actually go through there and know. Ah. This is where I come when I've got the 890 jump. Because I don't use the hangar bays, you see. Because I actually live in space. Yesterday was an exception. I was too tired to fly back into space to log in and log back out. But the problem is, if I take up into space, then everybody's going to have to rendezvous with me, which defeats the object. But my roleplay has now changed. There's supposed to be somebody on the 890 jump at all times, but so that ship should always have somebody on it. At the moment, I'm going to change my clothing. I haven't got any warm clothing because obviously that would take a little bit of time, and people don't like us watching in our mobile. Hey, please close your eyes, you females there. Yeah, don't want any funny ideas now. As I was saying, doing all this, people don't really want to see all this. I mean, in the mobile glass, changing clothes. You know what I mean? It's getting better, all right, and it's a lot easier. But obviously, there are things CID was discussing yesterday which they want to make it more user friendly. And I will be discussing subscriber flares in the next few videos of how I think it should be. Okay? Because subscriber flares should be classed as very, very rare items, but it's gonna be a very long discussion unless one of my colleagues can sit down and actually write it out so we can put it in Spectrum. I'm just trying to take these off at the moment. I'm having trouble, as you can see. And that's not down to CIG because it doesn't usually do this. I think it's a server lag that I'm under. That's because the server is pretty congested, so it's putting a bit of stress on CIG stuff. But if you look back on the years previously, it was very, very unplayable. So for them to have come this far, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to give them a little bit of credit under the circumstances. Okay? So you're going to have to put up with it until the expos finish. I remember 2 years ago, the whole server shut down on CIG through overload. Basically, it burnt out a couple of components and whatnot. You know what I mean? On the PU, they've got a server cap. They didn't say that. I said that. Okay, basically, only so many can go and active on that server. So basically, if you can't get onto the EU, you're going to have to pick another server. So it's all balanced out. Because we're all using the EU server, not the Australian server or the what they call it. Because, you know, however it is, we're not. Well, I'm not anyway. Anyway, let me just dress up. Ah, yes, that's for cold temperatures. Okay, back to business. I really want to... I'm sure... Wait. He's right, you know. The A2 is dearer than the Liberator, so where did I get £650 from? I must have got myself mixed up with another ship. It could have been the C2. I have to look at it. See, I'm doing things like memory at the moment, you see. So obviously if one of my colleagues say something, they would have actually looked at it, so I really can't doubt them at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Because they're there to help me when I have my memory lapse, you see. Or you'd call it a blonde moment. Excuse me. Now I'm trying not to buy so many ships in this patch because the last one was ridiculous. It took ages to find these ships because there were so many of them. So there's no need for me to be doing all these extra cargo runs because I'm not logistics. You know what I mean, I'm an explorer. So obviously I buy the ships that I need to complete my task. Basically, where am I? I believe it's this door. To complete my role play. So basically it's a selective players that are interested in my type of role play. You know what I mean? Combat is not one of them obviously, so combat players will always have a difference of opinion, which is understandable. Okay, with exploration, okay, it's more to do with the perm of death because the time it takes for a person to get to us, and obviously after a certain amount of time, you know, you're dead. Where a combat player is always near a station, so they can always be rescued. What ship is this? I didn't check this. No, you can't. I know you can't. They've already stated that. Now, I am almost sure that is wider than the ballista. And the only way I'm going to be able to see that is to put them side by side. Oh, I forgot to thank Tiosa. Right. T-Y. Right. Nice lighting. Easy on the eyes. As you can see, the seats are forward. I don't understand the logic behind that. Okay, like I said, CIG will have their reasons why they've done it this way. But me, I'm all about space and storage, and what I'm more of versatility, you see. So I would have organised it a bit different. Folding seats like the Rover, okay, and a bit more back, giving you a bigger entrance on that door. Now, because the door is now wider, it's got decent height. You can fit, you see, it won't be just a troop carrier then, you see. You could, you know what I mean, put things in it. I call that now my new saying, like a Russian doll. That's how I see it. But I can't stay here because obviously, through reasons. I do understand these are all the components, so I won't go through them based on what you've seen already, so I won't go through all of that. I just want to look at the doors because I'm not going to get another chance to actually purchase this. Activate systems.
Enfield Aerospace. All systems online.
See, I've not done much driving in this patch, so obviously my keybinds are not set. I'm at this one here, not that one. You can tell by the distance. There are two entrances at Microtech. I am at the side entrance, that's this one here. This is the one I use with my ships. And when I land in my ship, I land it on the ice. Ah, we got a problem. I have to zoom in because of the glitch, you see. Now I can do it. See, basically when you see the hand like it does there, it's interfering with your on and off, and if you're flying a ship you'll have a couple of problems. External view. Now looking at it from this point of view, taking off, I know it's not much clearance with the gun, but I would say it would be just enough. Oh, ground clearance is not good either. Hey, this has got its own special hangar. Oh, interesting. How am I going to size up these doors? I need to park it. Okay, since I know this place pretty well, I know it's not the normal hangar, I've got to find where the normal entrance is. Because this isn't it, because basically there's an entrance where you walk in. Lights.
Lights.
You might be able to, you know. I just want to look at those doors. It's very important. As you can see on the ballista, I remember it being the ballista missiles are actually higher than the guns, and they said the guns were what caused the problem. Take the guns off. You know what I mean? And I'm sure in the last patch I could do that. Can't do it now because obviously you can't do it with the loaner ship. I hope nobody nicks, or they won't anyway. If you can buy nicks, you can get for free. You seen Barry sing. Because all they get is a crime stat. I can spawn up to 3 vehicles. So it would be worth it for me to spawn the rover to help also give a comparison. Remember, it's about comparisons. It's not saying who's right or saying who's wrong. It's for you to use your own imagination, what suits you. That's what people seem to forget, you see. Right, if that does that's not the way I want it. Let's see if we've got the same thing on the other side. Remember, when you see the circle, it's not going to work. Zoom in and your glitch will stop. Oh, my eyes. I'm very sensitive to bright light, you see. I won't alter the eye tracking formulas until the end of the expo. Have I got a rover here? Yes, I got a rover. So that's 3 vehicles. Garage 1. That must be here. Yes. I suspected. And don't forget, that's the first time I've actually seen the Spartan. The door is narrow, as you can see, and on the ballista it's not. And as you can see, the missiles are higher than the armed guns. So if you take those off, it's gonna be lower. So if this can go on the Carrack with those taken off, I already can see it will be a good thing. You know what I mean? Now remember, it's a slight glitch. I don't know about you computers, but I've seen it happen on 2. Activate systems.
Enfield Aerospace. All systems online.
Engines on. Engines on. Right, remember, when you're zooming in, you'll see a circle. Be very careful because it will switch off your systems. Okay, there's no circle there, and I'm at the side hangar, so I'll be doing commons parking, that one.
You are clear to launch.
External view. I got problems. I know that's not going to work, so I'm going to come out different way. Basically, the locks on these vehicles are not very good. But if you're a truck driver, you'd understand. You have to be self-aware of everything and plan it before you move. Okay. You're gonna have to use your imagination on this one, okay? Oh no, I can do it the other way. So as you can see, when you take the missiles off, look how much headroom you've got. Take the guns off, you've got even more headroom. I'm not saying it will go into the carrot because I haven't tried it, and you can't do it with the loaners rented ship because you're not allowed to take parts of it. But at the end of the day, you should see where I'm coming from. Secondly, I've also noticed the doors. Open cargo doors.
Roger.
And I suspected visually the doors on the Spartan's wider. That's gonna give you more roleplay of putting things inside it. And that is what I mean by the Russian doll. It's got a couple of secrets it's going to be able to unlock vehicles inside it, if it will fit. Why do I say that? What is the width of this vehicle? It is 1 meter, I think, wider than the Rover. Okay, not practical, but it's going to give you an idea. But then again, getting from the front of the cab, obviously visibility is not good, but it's a truck, and truck's visibility isn't that good anyway. But the doors is something to look at. That's going to give you a lot of entrance capabilities, so take note. This is a military destroyer, okay? This is a civilian operator. The other one's a civilian operator. Yeah, I know. It can carry military troops, but not everybody's into combat. And if you get to unlock some of the secrets, you'll see why the Spartan might be, I repeat, might be better in some cases to this armor truck. But they should have put an EMP on it, and that might have kept the price up, because at least it's got defense purposes to go with stealth. Now the next thing I'm going to get out is the Rover, because I want to look at the back doors. I would say there's at least a meter clearance when them guns come off. That cuts down the, what they call it, the EM. The shields are the armor when it comes out will be sufficient, because you don't want to give away your position, and the shields will, because it does give off a heck of a lot of radiation, IR, or whatever you would like to call it. That Spartan is really looking on my radar, and it's only about $15 over the Rover. I can't remember because I made one price gesture today and I got it wrong, obviously. Okay, but if it is, I would get that. But because I've got the Rover in game already and I bought the Rock, I would upgrade the Rock to this and buy the Rock in game. Reason being, when you start looking at the price difference, I think the Rover, I don't know. This one's about 350, so let's speculate. When it's in game, half of it would be 200. So 200. It's not that bad really, because credit series is getting game if you're logistics. But anyway, let's get the next part out. The Rover. Now the reason why I'm looking at the Rover, you know, the Rover's half the size, so it does twice the things, and it's got guns and all that lot. But what I'm looking at, which I think is going to be very important, is that back entrance. So as you can see, the doors are narrower. This can bring a lot of service gear from the sides. And that's what I see. Now let's look on the back entrance. Ah, okay. Well, that's because we're on the hill, that's why. Sadly, but you're going to have to use your imagination. Now, don't forget the Rover. I do like the Rover. Easy to drive, easy to handle. But it's that back entrance I'm really interested in. Because that's the only way I'm going to be convinced to buy this ship beforehand with store credits I've got spare. If not, then it's going to be in-game. That's my personal views, okay? Because we haven't really got any civilian vehicles in there what we can use. It's all military. Now I do believe this is going to be a different door. But if I do get that Spartan, I will upgrade the rock to it. But I do need the rock for my type of roleplay too. Garage 1, brilliant. Don't be making them horrible noise now, okay? I'm going to leave the doors open. See, even now that looks even wider. You see, believe it or not, it feels and looks bigger already. If you can see it, and it can carry cargo. Wait, can you don't carry? No, it can't. Can it? I've not even looked. As you can see, the entrance there already looks bigger, giving you more versatility. And I think if CIG looks into this, they might change it. But it's going to have to take the votes of the committee and the Ibakati to do all this. Remember, when you bring something in, yes, it's got a specific purpose, but it must be able to do something else. You know what I mean? And that's what almost killed the 400i. We know what the 400i is supposed to be doing, but like I said, when people get bored, they want something else to do. And if they can't find something to do, they do some mysterious things like grieving, etc.
Welcome to Rollin Space Industries. Enjoy your ride. System check.
Shields off.
Shields power. Shields are off.
Full power to the engines.
Roger.
Right. This is very lacking in power. This needs a bigger power plant. I hope it don't shut down on me. I've lost too many people because of this. Basically what I mean by that, most our players, or most you players, don't like changing components, obviously because you don't understand how they work, which is understandable. But if you know how to adjust your power plants and stuff like that, these small vehicles are very good.
You are clear to launch.
External view. Already I like the feel of this. Something's telling me I don't think, but I do like the Spartan, but it's all going to be on that back door. You can already see the difference already. And today's the first time I've seen the Spartan, okay? I know it don't look any wider, but something's telling me it is. Well, you know what? Just because of the back door not wide enough, for me personally, apart from the good things I've said, it's just nerfed the ballista. I mean the Spartan, for me. I know you might say because it's off the ramp though. I'm not convinced. Just going into the road, but just now, I did sense more space, and more space means more versatility. So, no. For £15 more, I like it. It's strong, but I'm not sold. Sorry, CIG. This is my opinion, okay, as a civilian operator. Because of our limited functionality in the game, we have to look at every aspect. And the doors is the only thing that held me back on that. I wish I could have an opinion from a non-military operator and see what they would say. You can see it. And I was really hooked on this ship because it could have gone into another ship, but I'm not going to be spending my time to test what fits on that, because obviously it's about my roleplay, because the game's developing for so much now. We can't do anything what everybody would like them to see it, and this is the only time they can do these kind of things. If they're not either cut it in the PTU or even now when you put in the new ships, this is the only time I've got to do these things, because now my role play is civilian, okay, and it's about long-term persistent survival, so I can't make these mistakes. But apart from that ballista, Spartan would be okay, but not for me. Now the reason why I was looking at the Spartan is because I could have cut down the EMP and the storage it could store when doing looting, all that kind of rubbish. I mean, roleplay. Sorry, I got to speak the Queen's English. That's sad. I wish they would relook at that, but I doubt it. I doubt it very much. Unless an Ibakati puts that suggestion. But like I said, CIT has a reason for all this. Okay? And because of all the negativity, they've had to do things behind closed doors. And going back over these things after the little mistakes have been made, it costs them time and money, and that can't be done. So I can see from CIT's point of view, watching how they've been doing things over the years. Really disappointed in that. This was on my radar strongly. Look, as you can see, I can't see why they took this approach. They looked at it from combat, which is okay, but remember, when war is over, these combat things are turned for civilian uses. And when someone's purchasing something like that, they're looking at these for strong capabilities like the armor, for example, but the versatility of its functionality. I don't really want to be nerfing something like this in its early stages, but I'm just looking at it from a civilian point of view logistically. Already I feel the space. That's what it looks like in the arm. The ballista, about that space. But I feel like I've got room in this. It's not as long, but I feel like I've got room. And you're not sitting on top of each other. Well, we know why that is, so that's not a problem. And you see, they've got the overhang for the storage, if that's what those are. If anybody's got any comments on your opinion of what you've seen today, please type it in the chat or come into our Discord and give me some new approaches, because I really want to buy that Spartan. Okay, I really want to buy that Spartan. Anyway, let's look at the driving. We know it's limited when it comes to driving, but I've had enough driving experience to be able to drive this vehicle in its natural mean, which I'm going to do now. It won't drive no different from the ballista, so obviously, but as you can see, the visibility is not that good, but if you're a truck driver, you've got eyes all over the place. And the reason why I know that, when the ballista first came out, one of our operators wanted to be a vehicle operator, and he ran in this vehicle and he ran straight back out after a day. And I tried to explain to him, I couldn't get through. But a vehicle operator has to be able to drive all vehicles, in spite of its limitations. External view. You see, this vehicle doesn't have a navigator. That's number one. Now I'm going to try and drive this vehicle with eye tracking. This is what I mean by self-awareness. Because with eye tracking, you're able to take a lot more of the information that you need. Remember, you have to be alert. Remember, I've got a vehicle on the right of me. Okay, and if you use the radar, you can see it. Me and Commander Yosen spent the day doing all this, so we know. We don't want to be running over anybody's toes now. Lights.
Lights.
Oh, lights work. Oh, lights.
Lights.
I tell you what, while I'm at, no, I don't need it. I'm experienced enough to drive these vehicles. You vehicle operators, whatever you do, do not try and tell another vehicle operator how to drive. They don't like it. But if you've got the qualifications in the real life, you know what it's like. Okay? As you can see, I was able to do a 3-point turn and I didn't touch the vehicle. And I'm going to go into the ice. I'm going to go on the third person view just to show you. External view. External view. As you can see, I was able to do a 3-point turn and not touch the vehicle. I only came out here to show you, okay? And you see, if you drive an electric car, it's also the same, because it's all about sound, because the visibility is not as good. Some of you disagree on that, but I don't want to go through all that terminology. But you remember how this vehicle was just now, okay? It's self-awareness of your surroundings, even when you can't see. Has this got reverse camera? Yes. And if you didn't have Toby eye tracking, it wouldn't be that easy. Hazard lights.
Roger.
Looking behind reverse camera, as you can see. I'm not here to teach how to drive, okay? I'm just giving you rough ideas. Now I'm on the ice. External view. I will not adjust my eye tracking because I do know the lag here is causing problems. I've got Zoom working on the receiver yet. I'm going to see if I can actually drive to the other opening on this. Now according to this, the vehicles are to the left of me. So the train track should be directly straight forward to the left. But we're going to find out in a sec. I'm supposed to be actually flying ships actually. Why is it? Oh, it's 18 kilometers. Is that right? Oh, I got. Yeah, spaceport. You see? Will it let me? That's the question.
Please proceed to assigned landing bay.
Wait for the lag to cut down a bit. It's there to the left, but the lag's too much for my eyes. That's the spaceport I'm going to. So that means it's going back to where I've just come from. Oh, I got it right. It's like skiing on black ice, isn't it? Remember you're on black ice? So obviously you've got to allow for that too in stopping distances, else you're going to go splat. I really would have liked this Spartan. Hazard lights.
Roger.
Now the reason why I use hazard lights, because it just gives that extra visibility if you miss something when it's on constantly. But my timings are wrong at the moment, okay? But really they should be working at the same flashes as a car vehicle. So it's not too disorientating on the eyes. What I'm doing a slalom around the obstacles. They will, if you hit it, they will hit it. I'll just go hit it. I'll just go hit it. I don't really want to. No, I'm not going to because I'm supposed to be doing perma death. Sorry about that. Like I said, my roleplay is very serious, you see. Luckily, I've got the support of our org members, so they're not going to kill me because at the day it's to help others in this type of roleplay that wants to do it. You do have your trolls that want to kill you for fun, okay? And it's not fun at the end of the day. That's why in our organisation we don't kill our own players unless it's actually pre-organised. But I can't take part in that type of roleplay with our roleplay because of what I've implemented in this game, which I've been working on for the last 2 patches and since the time I've come into Star Citizens. And the prediction, believe it or not, it's been about 88% accurate, but not explained properly, which I do understand. And this actually gets a lot of people's backs up. When this patch came out, I was trying to advise the players to use new baggage. They wouldn't listen. That was their choice. I agree. But now they want to come to the expo to test out these new ships. They have to use bug workarounds, which they could have avoided. But it's understandable. I know why they used Lawville. Look at Miss. It was difficult. I had to get to learn to use Orison because of the atmosphere. She's now a crackpot and landing all ships there now. What I'm actually worried about, because this is a size 4 vehicle, is the entrance different towards the smaller vehicles. Dark now, you see. Oh, it's going into the post. That's why it looked weird. I've not been here in over a week. just simulating. I've got no shields on this. Okay, so obviously I'd have to drive differently to how I would normally drive. Ah, trees. Like I said, hazard lights.
Roger.
You'll hear the vehicle coming, but you won't see it. It's noisy. And yes, this is fast, but not in the way you would know it. What I mean, it's quicker than foot soldiers, and it can carry double the amount of people. So as you can see, the timings are all wrong on my hazard lights because I've not had time to reprogram them back in. Reason being, a few months ago I lost all the key bindings.
Almost to assign your landing.
And most of our operators are very good when it comes to driving vehicles at this level. The only ones that don't make it is the ones that don't listen. Well, I'm not going to be able to do... Well, I'm exploring anyway, but this has been in the ballista. I'll have to change that name. Okay. Like I said, the only reason is I can't do certain things because I'm actually using permadeath. Okay, I'm not going to go into all those details because it's not in the game yet. Just like a lot of the other features that are not in the game, I've actually had to create. And like I said, it now comes under micromanagement, and it's causing a problem with our org players because some just want to get in there, play the game, and get off again. But with the higher level players, it's not quite like that. So the lower players now are feeling left out.
Please proceed to assigned landing bay.
I've been told that this can't really fit in there, but that's what I've been told, but I haven't done it myself, so this is the first time. Let's check at heights and everything. I don't see any problems. External view. No, I don't. I am having problems at the moment with my mouse, but like I said, it's all due down to the server lag and what I'm used to. Hazard lights.
Roger.
I'm about to lose my compass bearings. I suspected. No, that's right. much time. Oh, my heart's pumping. So what was the problem? Physics grid. I was too close to one side. Well, thank you everybody. I will be changing this to the Spartan on the heading, because really I wasn't supposed to be doing this, but it was the expo. And the miss isn't up yet, and we do have the expo number 4 day 2 coming in, and I do believe Yosa will just go ahead without me. Well, the miss, I think she's actually ill today, you see, that's why she's not come on. Yeah, well, what had happened there, I was too close to the right hand side, so obviously that was the physics grid. Okay, well, it was a pleasure to drive. I do like the ship, I still want it, but that back door entrance is the only thing that put me off. That. Although I can afford to buy the ships, I want to be a bit more practical in the game now. It is a military vehicle without a shadow of a doubt. But when there is no war, these are sold to the civilian vehicle market. And that's where functionality and versatility comes in because of its limitation. Nice. Very nice.
Thank you for your cooperation.
I like it.
Initiating ship storage procedure. For your safety, please vacate the area. Thank you for your cooperation.
I can't fault it. From a military point of view, there's going to be a lot of wasted metal when it comes to recycling. Not practical. You can't always be military, you see. Just our back door. I do hope CIG looks at this, but I doubt it. Well, remember, the only reason why this was developed like this because CIG has to do a lot of things behind closed doors, so they can't see another point of view because of the time schedule. And to change this ship for better, it's not worth it. Why? The ship is very cheap for what it is. Then to go and change it again, that means putting it up to its reasonable price it should be. And yes, at the price it is, I think it's about $80. It's a little bit too dear. Alright? It is, just slightly. But you can't charge it the same as the ballista because of the components. But if they put the EMP on this, I do believe strongly it would have actually put this ship over the £100 mark. And remember, I'm not into buying vehicles with cash. If anybody's got an opinion on that, I'd love to hear it. I know the civilian guy, military, will have a different sense of looking at this, but it'd have been better if a civilian person was to look at this from my point of eyes and not from a military. Remembering this ship can't always be used as our military, because somehow along the line, later on down the line, because you bought the ship, bought this vehicle, you'd be selling it on, and you'd rather want to keep it. Just that back door let it down over the rover. So it's what, 4 meters, 6 meters wide, 4 meters wide, 1.5, that's 3 meters, that's 2 meters, so that door is about 1 meter wide. Let's just check that out. 1, 2, 3, 4. They can't change it, it'll cost too much. But if they did, before everybody buys this, next year when they go to put the price up, they will buy it. My personal point of view. And I really am not trying to try, I'm just trying to be very selective on my wording, knowing how CIG works in the background. Anyway, thanks for watching. Okay, I will be changing the 890 jump to the Spartan, because obviously that's what this was about. So it's been a bloody 3-hour video, and it's not what I wanted to do, obviously. But you Bacati guys out there, you can see where I'm coming from. See if you can push something from your point of view on this vehicle. It's a bloody good vehicle. I love it to bits, but I can't use it. Not